Good morning. Okay, let me see here. Share these two groups. How are you guys today? Happy Saturday. It's a little later than normal for me. I was up this morning at 4. I meditated by 5. I decided to climb back. I did the dogs and took them out and everything around 6 to 7. And then I decided to wait because it's a Saturday. And I'm like, why am I getting up so early to do this? It's kind of, nobody's on, nobody's awake. Like, just give it a break kind of thing. So I climbed back into bed and I actually fell back to sleep for a little bit, which was nice. So, hey, Nate. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Carol. So hopefully you guys aren't too thrown off by the fact that I'm running a little bit behind this morning, but it is Saturday. So I thought that might work in our day. Let me just share this to the business page really quick. Please like, share, follow, subscribe anywhere that you think this video would be suitable. I would greatly appreciate it. Anybody run into the magician yesterday, or anybody find themselves being the magician? Did you have to use your magic tools to sort of get your communication across, get your needs met? Maybe either run into somebody that was being a little bit on the manipulative side, or you had to manipulate a little bit to get your point across. Did that happen for anybody yesterday? That was definitely our card. So I don't know. The Magician's not a bad card. It's just definitely a card of one of sort of, can be power, but can also mean trickery, a little bit of self-centeredness, that sort of thing. So that's just my feeling around it. So I could be wrong about that. But all right, so we're all shared now to the business page. We're all up on YouTube. Good morning, Karen. So let's see what we've got going on for the 20th. It's 4:20. Not that that matters to me, but it might matter to some of you. Hi, Pat. Good morning. You've got one eye open. Good morning, Janet. I know. I've been on way too early. I've been trying not to be, but I get up so early and then I feel like if I don't do it quickly, then I'm going to get tired again and go back to sleep and miss it. But I did things differently this morning. I was up at 4. It was that same sort of weird feeling of being woken up, like this vibrating feeling in my body. I was listening last night to this book by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now. And it's all about living in the present moment. And it's pretty heady stuff. It's like about metaphysical mindfulness, meditation, and the breathing, and losing the sort of the mind self and the ego, the egoic mind, which holds us in this place of fear and anxiety all the time, which I have been dealing with fear and anxiety a lot since moving to Mexico. And I don't necessarily know that this, isn't like a really appropriate time for me to be reading this book, but I was listening to it on Audible while being quiet in my bed last night. And it started to dawn on me that maybe this 4 a.m. wake up, whatever it is, maybe it's my inner self. This is what Eckhart Tolle calls it. He calls it your inner self, or your energetic body, and getting in touch with that. And maybe that's what's trying to wake me up. It's like going hey, now would be a good time to get up and connect with me, because it's quiet here, right? It's quiet now. The energy's a little bit more quiet now. It's 8 o'clock about here, but there was car alarms going off at 6 a.m. There's a lot of extra people in town for Semana Santa. It's a very holy week here in Mexico. And Mexico, Vallarta is a very busy city, and it can be overpowering and overwhelming, especially when you're anxious or fearful, right? So maybe that's why 4 a.m. is the time to be getting up. So I did that. I got up, I got in my chair, and I lit my candle, and I did my meditation, and it felt good. I felt conscious. I did some of the practices that was in the book and tried to connect to that feeling of my inner body, my inner self, my inner energy, and get quiet with that and quiet my mind. And of course, after I was done with that, I climbed back into bed, and then my mind starts going again, blah, 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 about stupid, silly little things that are unimportant. I mean, like stupid, silly little things, like TV related things and stuff, things that, old television show characters. And I'm like, what? So this is when Eckhart Tolle says, just be a silent observer. Just watch your mind and the thoughts of your mind. This is your ego, or your own egoic mind trying to hold on so it feels safe. So I think that might be some of the internal struggle that I've been dealing with lately. And so I just tried to embrace it. And then after the meditation, I was like, you know what? I was going to rush in here and do the reading. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to not be in such a hurry. Give it a minute. Take a breath. Lay back down. Cuddle the dogs. Relax. You can put the video up. You have all day to put the video up if you need to, So this is going to be the forecast for today. Saturday, April 20th. And remember, the funny thing was we had that ecstasy card, the Ace of Cups, which ends out the week. And that was supposed to be a really good cup, a really good card. But it had all those flowers, those spring flowers on it. And I think, isn't Sunday Easter? So I thought that was kind of funny because then it was making me think of Easter. But anyways, let me see here. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe, guys. If you're interested in booking a private reading with me, those can be done. You just message me at the Facebook business page or message me directly. So the shuffle feels smooth today. It felt nice, very comfortable. So hopefully we're all going to have a nice, comfortable, easy day. Maybe even slightly boring. I'm not sure. Like nothing too major to get too worked up about. It's funny. There's the card that shows up in for today is actually sort of interesting. It's the Eight of Cups, which is the stagnation card, and that showed up for us, I think, last week, didn't it? Yeah, early last week, and that was all about the letting go of old, like, sort of behaviors and patterns that were no longer working for us. So maybe today is a day of, we might find ourselves feeling a little stagnant or bored, a little bit sort of stuck in a rut or dealing with similar emotions and things that we've been feeling for a while. But I do think that when I look at this card, it feels like there's an opportunity here to get some movement going, to get some things like removed from our space. It's interesting to me too, because that Ace of Cups is usually the end of the weekend, which was the ecstasy card, which was all of these flowers. And this has flowers in it too. They're still there and they're still sort of in bloom, but they're kind of holding on for their last dear life. So I'm not sure if some of us feel like we're struggling right now. I could attest to, I'm feeling like I'm having a bit of a personal struggle right now. So that might be part of why I'm seeing that in this card. But there might be some of you out there that feel like you're holding on tightly to whatever little you may have left in the hopes of making some change or releasing some old things that no longer work for you. Things might feel a little bit more boring or a little bit more stuck today. I didn't get like a lot of resistance in the shuffle, so if anything, I would think it would be more boring than stuck. Not necessarily like we're having to fight against it. We're just kind of like, oh, it's this again, kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if family comes out today to sort of remind us of maybe what's not working or what's how sometimes family can come around and lovingly remind us of the patterns that we were raised in that don't necessarily work for us. Does that make sense? So there might be some of that today. It doesn't necessarily mean that tomorrow's not going to be the ecstasy card, but it does mean that, like, I mean, there is still the pot of flowers. Maybe these flowers are growing, not withering, but or something has changed for us throughout this week. You know, maybe the decision that we made in the middle of the week that was the chariot has turned us in a direction that we don't necessarily feel as though we truly want to go, if that makes sense. So just be on the lookout for moments of boredom, sadness, feeling a little bit stuck or in a pattern kind of thing, and let it loose. And what I feel like is going to give it movement or set it free is touching base with it, facing it, and maybe feeling it, letting the emotions around it run, and letting that sort of set you free. Okay? So I hope you guys have a great Saturday. That's my forecast for today. Try not to get too down on yourself and have a good day. And let's see what tomorrow brings in the 3-card spread for the following week. Okay? All right. Have a great day, you guys.